Hello, and welcome to Under 1000. My name's Thomas Flower, and each episode I'll read you a new piece of flash fiction. All of the stories are 1000 words or less. Today, I'll be reading Broken Bootstraps. At the age of 12, he knows what he wants to be. Those strange and gloriously otherworldly pop duos who would unleash their frenetic sound and outlandish costuming onto an unsuspecting public. That's where he sees himself one day belonging. His own imagination extends far beyond simply love songs set to a synth soundtrack and lines of red face paint. In his mind, he sees himself fronting a pairing which would shock and delight the world with bizarre costumes and offbeat lyrical choices. Of course, the only problem with it all is that it seems so unobtainable to him, even at his precocious young age. The world of musical superstardom, bright lights and fantastical clubs, tabloid outrage and fan delight is so far away from his small-town life. People from here don't do things like that, after all. People from here go to work on the fish counter in the supermarket, or, at the very most, open a small knick-knack shop on the high street. But still, he has big dreams, and a willingness to see them through. Somehow, he just knows it's going to happen for him, just like it did for all his heroes. All he needs is to work hard and believe, after all. At the age of 18, he forms a duo with his best friend, and they start playing together in the local pub. Synth-pop bands are hardly in their heyday anymore, and the local patrons don't seem to take kindly to a couple of glitter and tinsel-covered oddballs either, but at least he knows he's finally making it happen. Everyone has to start somewhere, don't they? The pub is only the beginning. Soon enough, he thinks, he'll be invited to play at a club in the nearby city, and from there, the journey upwards will be clear. In the meantime, he works in the chip shop and plays gigs at the weekend. The two of them know instinctively that eventually their day will come. They have so much to say, so many ways to say it. At the age of 22, things start to change. He and his bandmate aren't quite the same with each other after all this time together. Still, what's so wrong with starting a relationship? It may complicate things a little, but it mostly worked out okay for Fleetwood Mac and ABBA, didn't it? He tries not to worry, sure that this new familiarity and spark they have together is only a sign of their creative process growing stronger. He feels confident that the band will still come first. He wonders when they'll finally be invited to play somewhere more exciting than town halls and village galas, but he's still sure it will come someday. He continues sending out tapes and gushing letters in carefully wrapped parcels to all the venues he can think of. He wonders why he never hears anything back. Isn't it the small-town weirdos that are the lifeblood of the DIY scene? At the age of 25, he's presented with a choice. His bandmate, now tired of struggling for nothing, is keen to move in and settle down together. Perhaps they'll even get a dog, if they can afford it. But they both know that it spells the end of the band. His partner now longs for comfort and domesticity, and that seems incompatible with the prospect of struggling on with trying to make a name for themselves. It is, after all, impossible to be out night after night playing shows to faceless, disinterested crowds, and also to be tucked up at home watching TV and eating the fancy chocolate biscuits that their scrimped-up savings can afford. Better to save the money and have a comfortable, peaceful life. Dreams are for children. And yet, he chooses to keep going alone. Still trying desperately to show the world that he has something to say, despite its disinterest in listening. At the age of 29, he takes a new role. No longer the on-off work of irregular hours in the chip shop each week for him. He starts a regular shift behind the cheese counter at the local supermarket. Cutting and serving beautiful slices of cheddar to the townsfolk does make him feel a little fancy, but he doesn't allow much time for other activities. Of course, the extra money is useful for costumes and the like, but now his boyfriend wants them to be putting their hearts into saving in the hopes of one day buying a home. Once again, he's forced to choose between being pragmatic and being a dreamer. Once again, he lets a little more go and tries to be at peace with where life has placed him. It doesn't come naturally. At the age of 32, he realizes that he will never get to be the singer of an eccentric synth-pop band. That era is long over by now, after all, and even if it weren't, the world has made it perfectly clear that it is not interested in hearing what a small-town working boy has to say. Perhaps if he'd had the money for perfectly crafted outfits, or for a whole team working on writing and production. Perhaps. But alas, the supermarket and the flat on the high street is where the world seems to have decided he should be. It's not all bad though, is it? Next month he's up for promotion at work. They finally got their dog, and they're gearing up to take out a mortgage. He resigns himself to the simple life, and he lets go. Not everyone gets to be what they wanted as a child. Dreams, he concludes, are not for him anymore. Thank you for listening to Under 1000. I'm your host, Thomas Fowler. To follow the show online, look for Under 1000 Pod on Twitter or Facebook, or check out the website at under1000pod.com. If you'd like to support the show on Patreon, go to patreon.com/under1000pod, where you can sign up to read each month's stories in advance, as well as to have a thank you be read during these credits. The theme music is an instrumental version of In Between Days by Nick Tate and the Sharks. To hear the full song and more from the same EP, go to Nick Tate, Nictate, and thesharks.bandcamp.com, or search for them on your favourite streaming platform. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and that you'll join me again next time for some more super short fiction.